Hi, everyone, and welcome to Who Threw the Curve. And today we have Randy representing Delaware. And also, who's that there, Randy?
This is Mr. Ducky.
Mr. Ducky.
You're my service bird for mental health. He's a little Ducky, man. He's like a little baby. He's the only bird I know that likes to be held like a baby, and he's the cool. Birds are really cool pets.
Well, Mr. Ducky will be joining us in our conversation, and I'm Robert out of New York City. And today we're gonna talk about Trump. So Fannie Willis, who's the DA up in Georgia, she has come up to bat as one of Trump's next DAs, trying to get him locked up. And the funny thing is, she went ahead, or I can say she thought out of the box and is prosecuting him under a law that is used to prosecute mob bosses.
Yes.
So, also the funny thing is, so she's using the RICO statutes, which Giuliani used to prosecute the mob here in New York City and clean up New York City. Yet, now Giuliani is being prosecuted under the same law because he is being prosecuted as well with Trump in Georgia. And the funny shit is, they're using the RICO statutes laws, which he used just to bury the whole mob here in New York City. Let me ask you a question, Randy. Do you think that they're going above and beyond to frame this man so he doesn't run again? Because if anybody looks at the polls, and you don't have to be into politics to look at a poll and say, wow, Trump is in all this shit. He has all these legal issues that anybody else would be like, nah, he can't run. But he is ahead in the polls as far as the Republicans. And as it stands, if him and Biden went head to head now, he would bury Biden. Easy.
Well, he buried him the first time.
You're right.
He buried him the first time, man. Fannie, the RICO Act, the RICO statutes, all that were signed in the 70s by Nixon. Okay, Giuliani brought them to TV and emphatically, I'm sorry, my animals are barking, emphatically brought them into the national limelight when he prosecuted mob bosses with them. She's wanting to tell a story. The article that we got when we decided to do this topic, it talks about that's why she went that way, because she wants to tell a story. Yeah. She's Fannie's want to tell her story. She's want to get her book deal and get her her generational wealth. Go ahead and secure it. Right. This man, I mean, the proof is in the pudding, and that's the problem I feel with today. Period. Is people get in their baby feelings so much they get butthurt about things that don't matter. I mean, think about you're being safe in your country, having money in your bank account, keeping our boys in uniform at home and out of other people's business, and not supporting every other country in the world that has a problem. And then when these other countries, we're paying 85% of your defense bills, and you're buying 100% of your energy from the people who we are paying to defend you, and nobody's had the cojones to say a word about that. And so, Big D, I mean, I half the time I can't stand some of the stuff he says too. Okay, stick a dirty sock in his mouth, but I'm not in my feelings. I care about my wallet. I care about my family and my country's safety. That's just all there is to it, and that's what the problem is today. And she's want to tell a story. She's using this with unlimited amounts of resources from the guy. I mean, 2 + 2 is 4, not 22.
No, you're right. And the thing is, it seems like every state is trying to lynch him. And so far, he's gone to every state that's tried to lynch him, and he has won. So the funny thing is, though, I got to give it to Fannie Willis because she thought outside the box. And all the other prosecutors didn't. And the reason why I say that is the RICO statutes are made, they're so broad that anything could fall under it. If you ever read the whole thing, I'll read it here. It's bribery, fraud, money laundering, extortion, gambling, drug trafficking, murder, and a bunch of other small things. So almost anything. So they're trying to get him under election fraud, right? Which
Yeah.
fraud is in the RICO statute, and it just says fraud. So just the fact that it's fraud, she could prosecute him under this act.
The whole realm of fraud, not bank fraud, wire fraud. The whole
Exactly.
realm.
It's
That's
just
why
so broad.
really, because the mob bosses were so insulated,
Yeah.
they couldn't get to them.
Right.
So they had to have ways around it, and the right snitch, the right piece of paperwork, and then the right
wording.
Circumstantial evidence will get in. It's like in Delaware, you can indict a ham damn sandwich.
Right.
My lawyer tells me in Delaware, because I'm like, I didn't do this for real. Because sometimes people don't do stuff. And he was like, look, man. I'm like, he's like, in Delaware and pretty much anywhere in America, you're going to get indicted. They're going to indict a ham sandwich. Did they put mustard on that ham sandwich? No. Bring charges on him.
Well, not unless you're from New York. In New York City, you could steal anything right now, and you're not going to get indicted for anything. You're just going to get a slap on your hand and just be like, hey, don't do that again. And then when you do it again, they do it again.
Yeah, it's Biden. You get a participation trophy. Go rob the bank. I want to give you a participation trophy, really. Throwing the flag, personal foul.
So, I mean, I don't know. Trump is supposed to go on Monday and present his whole case. I don't know how he's going to beat this, only because the law itself is so very broad. It's almost made that you can't beat it. Like, you can't get yourself out of it.
Okay, I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how he's going to do it. He's going to get elected, and then he's going to pardon himself.
Oh, you can do that.
That's what he's going to do, brother. I mean, listen. People get mad. Oh, he makes all this money. He doesn't pay taxes. You're just jealous because there's statutes out there. There's tax laws with loopholes, and he took advantage of it. Now, if you had all that money, would you do the same?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Why is he so bad? Something you would do.
Absolutely.
Your blood hurt, and he said something that you didn't like.
Yep. It's interesting because, I don't know, Biden is getting it from all different angles at this point in time, but he seems to still lay the iron hand without laying the iron hand. Like, he's utilizing every department possible in the federal government to make shit happen, to oust people, to shut people down, to shut people up. But what he doesn't realize, besides Trump, he has also RFK to worry about, RFK Jr., who's creeping up very, very quickly.
That was the last John F. Kennedy. Yep. I'm a Republican. I'm a big John F. Kennedy fan. He was the last time that we had somebody who didn't have a group of people behind him that got him elected.
Yeah.
Kennedy's got John Kennedy elected, just like Trump got Trump elected.
Yep.
I guess Kennedy was a politician. Trump's not. Trump's more like one of us. But Kennedy didn't have a group of people, say oil tycoons, or a group of social media tycoons, or this group of billionaires did everything right to get their guy elected so they get all the whatever they need. Kennedy didn't do that. You know what I mean? Same thing with Trump.
It's going to be interesting what Biden's next moves are, because how long can you keep him shut? And he's getting it from every angle. So,
really? Great point. I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No. With that said, unless you want to have any other closing comments, I'm going to close this one out until we can revisit it after Monday, and we'll talk about to see what happened and what's going on, what's going to happen moving forward. What other state is going to try to indict him? Who's up to bat next? But I have to give Fani Willis credit. Where credit is due, she did think outside the box, where others haven't.
I think I disagree with you. I don't think she deserves credit because she's done this so many. She just did it 2 other times here in the last few months.
Right.
And the school teachers that she had for blowing up students' grades. She prosecuted them under the same statute. So she's into telling stories, and this is a story she wants to tell. So it's hard for me to give somebody credit who's blowing millions of taxpayer dollars, and she knows she is, to go after somebody instead of going after people who need to be gone after.
Right.
She's being used like a pawn by a very crooked man, and I can't give somebody credit like that. All due respect, thumbs down to Fannie Wilson. I think she needs to.
But you know what's funny? You're in sales. I'm in sales. We all know the biggest part of sales is telling a story.
Telling a story.
That's how you make your money.
We sell it one time. She's got to sell it twice to 12 different people.
With that said, don't forget to like us, share us, subscribe if you're on YouTube, follow us, and also chime in the conversations. And I will put in some other good stuff you could read about the case on the description. Thank you, and we'll see you on our next segment.